Hey, welcome to another lesson. As you can see, changing it up a bit today. Today we're going to be working on finger picking. This is a Yamaha C40, and I know I normally stay down a whole step on my electric guitar. That's because I'm just used to it by now. It's I can get bends a lot higher than I could on a normal string. Probably a bad habit to get into is to stick to one set, but it works for me right now. But I'm down a full step on this because anybody who has this guitar knows that you really can't tune it up past a certain point, and that would be D. So today we're going to work on finger picking, which shouldn't really have to explain why it's called finger picking. You're picking with your fingers. We're going to label our fingers T, thumb, I, index, M, middle, R, ring, and P, pinky. Okay? So, T, I, M, R, P. And we're going to get into breaking up chords. And we're going to get into what's called in the blues world chicken picking versus multiple fingers. First we'll start with chicken picking, and you've probably seen that riff I do, which is a very cliched riff. And with that, we're gonna change a little bit. So for that, we're starting on the 7th fret. You're hitting the G and the E string. Yeah, we'll go down that fret. So you're going from 7 to 4 eventually. And if you just practice that, as you see, I'm going up another fret each time. It's going to help build a little coordination. It's going to help get in between the strings easier. That's just a little thing I learned. Now, this time we're going to be doing a basic picking technique. We're not going to be doing any real chords. We're just going to be arpeggiating chord. We're going to be in a C chord, if you can see. So. Or I should be hitting the open note here. So the way I'm doing this is I'm going from the 1st fret of the B string to the open fret of the G string, and then the 3rd fret of the A string. And I'm really only using T, I, and M just to arpeggiate that chord a little bit. And that's got kind of like, it's almost like dust in the wind. It's not really, it's just a little thing I've been screwing around with. And then you're eventually taking your index finger off and hitting that string, and you're also hitting the open E. But it's gonna look like. Yeah, that last time you're hitting the A, G, and B strings, and that's the little thing there. With the classical guitar, you have to learn classical music. So this is Minuet by Johann Krieger. And if you want to look that up, you can find tabs for that pretty easily. You can find written music, standard notation for that, even easier. That's you're mainly sticking in 1st position, and hitting open notes also. With classical music, position playing is very important. You always want to you never really want to stray from first position unless you have to, unless you're going for higher frets. But while you can, you don't want to, for example, use your middle finger to play the 3rd fret. It doesn't mean you can't. You can always mess around, you can do whatever you want, but generally a rule of thumb for classical playing is to stay in position. And that's really that. Octave playing is pretty important. Sorry, that's not an octave. It's really just, if you're composing classical music, it's just really a matter of finding out what undertones, which is the bottom note, go with what note, you know. For example, that was a C and an E. The beginning of one that anybody who's seen Tenacious D should know is actually a J.S. Bach song, Lude Suite in E minor. The beginning of that is you're mixing a G with an E, an F sharp with an F sharp, obviously the octave works, and then another G with an E. So really, there's really no rhyme or reason. Well, there is, but I mean, you just have to figure out what works, you know. So mess around with it. Composing music is one of the best things you could do to learn to practice, and it's excellent for theory, obviously. If you can get a good kind of software like I use PowerTab and Guitar Pro, then you know, you're set. So keep practicing. If you can, if you're really into guitar, go out and get a classical guitar, because they're just really fun to play, especially if you like that old kind of regal sound to it. You know, just another way to expand your guitar.